So the following is an overview of our map only or our files only email product. And so here's an example of what the email will look like for you. We try to segment and do some business intelligence for you within the email. One thing we're looking at is kind of what large projects are out there. So we see things like Pembina Gas building a large facility, a large gas battery, in Canada putting in a 7-well pad, so on and so forth. A few highlights here. We like to focus on some of the highlights as they relate to financing. So, coming in here and saying Manitouk Drilling saying that in mid-September they'll drill a minimum of 10 or a minimum amount of wells for $10 million. Things that we do from a business intelligence perspective is we do comparisons from the beginning of the year till last week. So here are some companies that spudded wells for the very first time in 2017. So when you look at hundreds of the well license records, these are the ones that kind of elevate to the top as somebody that's doing something new, and it gives you the opportunity, what they call in kind of trigger event selling, maybe go reach out, look for your contact, and give one of these companies a call. We talk about the volume of rigs coming up, new rigs, and kind of gives you an indication of what's going on. You'll see some of this is overlap, like NEL, but we also see companies like Conoco that don't show up on the first well, telling you that they've added more capacity from a drilling perspective. And then these are companies that added new well licenses since the beginning of 2016. So up here is the guys drilling for the first time in 2016. These are new well licenses. Again, a bit of a trigger for you to let you know who you should be targeting. We include an image, quick snapshot of a dashboard. So it's telling you who's doing the facilities, who's doing the well licenses, and then who's doing the spud licenses. So you can go down, take a look, look for those blank spaces, which we've ultimately included a lot of that information up here. And then we attach the reports, and then you can come into to any one of the reports. When you look at the reports that we're providing, the information that we're going to provide are things like the company name, the well name, the license date, the board field center, the field, what terminating zone that we're going in, the surface location, projected depth, what type of well it is. We're going to do the coordinates, and I'll show you what you can do later with that, what type of well it is, and then the people's names related to, so in this case, a Ramdor Resource Management, and then people at Blaze Energy related to that particular well license. We're doing the same thing both on the facility and the spud license, trying to provide you as much information as possible. On the spud license, one of the things that we've been working on, it could be quite effective for you. I've showed you how we've added, showing who the new rigs are and what rigs are operating. So we've added the, here we've got the drilling provider, and then we have the rig number, but we also have the contractor and rig number. So you can go through and get an idea, build some of your own reports to find out who's drilling where. One of the things that we can do to kind of maximize this, again, a free tool that becomes pretty effective, is a Google Maps. So I can come over here, and I've just gone to Google Maps, so google.ca/maps. When I come into Google Maps, it gives me the option to come in here and say your places. I can select the Maps tab and say create a map, and you're going to save the files that we've sent to you. So wherever you save the files that we've sent to you, you can look in your directory, and we can say, okay, we're going to upload this particular file. And one that I thought was interesting would be something like, let's take a look at this Montney file. I'm going to include some of the different plays in here, and then what it asks for when we do it is just asking what coordinates are you going to use from a latitude and longitude perspective. And you just have to select that, say continue, and then it's going to ask what you want to see first to help you segment this particular set of data. And I'm going to say I want to see this by account name, and now it's just loading it up into Google Maps for you. It doesn't cost you anything. You just have to sign up for a free Google. And so when we talk about our Montney play, we're talking right from essentially Red Deer, but more so as we get closer to Rocky Mountain House, all the way up to British Columbia. And one of the interesting things here that I can do with this is I can say, okay, I'm interested in this account name, and I can segment it out by color and take a look at it, go over any one of the accounts, look at the information related to that particular account. I also have one other layer option here. I can open up a table, and I can come in here and I can take a look at the table and say, what is it that I want to be able to look at? One of the things I found interesting when I looked at this is I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to say, okay, well, let's actually segment this out by board field center. And so I've segmented it out by board field center on that side of it. Once I've done that, I can say, well, I'm really interested in kind of this Grande Prairie region. I select that. It's highlighted the Grande Prairie ones for me. When I come over here and I say open my table is highlighted here already. I can then come in and I can update this particular information inside of Salesforce or inside the list if I want to add anything else, or I can come down and say, oh, you know what, there's a this particular account that I'm interested in here, that we haven't talked to here in a while in this particular area. So I might say, okay, well, I got New Vista, or want to talk to Athabasca Oil Sands. I can look at some of the contacts that I have related here, or some of my own contacts, and tell somebody to go out and give them a call. So just a quick summary on the service is we're providing you analytics or detailed information about what's happened in the previous week. This is fairly unique to Point Consulting Group, where we're doing comparisons week versus year and looking for new indicators, giving you a nice snapshot list or dashboard list of what's going on in the market, and then giving you these detailed reports. I'm also going to be including the plays, Montney, Viking, and those areas there. Once you get these files, you can quickly save them to your drive, maybe something like Google Drive. And then once we've done that, we can come in here and we can take a look at and say, I want to look at the information in Google Maps, and go ahead and segment that. So a lot of value from a lead generation perspective for a minimal amount of money.